And now it's time to share with you the major stories making headlines across Nigeria this morning. On the newspapers, we have joining us Ikechukwu Amaechi from the niche newspapers. Good morning and thanks for joining us, sir.
Good morning.
Interesting times. I'm expecting that Dangote will make the news again this morning, or maybe not. Well, let's start with the Punch newspapers this morning so we can find. Fuel crisis. Marketers project 700 billion naira monthly subsidy. It says NNPC mom as dealers insist government is still paying subsidy. Reps probe crude shortage. Dangote eyes foreign markets for refinery products. Federal government meets Kyari and Dangote over dispute. Nigeria records $1 billion international transfer inflows in 3 months. And hunger protest. NLC warns against clampdown. We can also find on top of your screen on the Punch this morning, windfall tax. Federal government insists on sanctions for defaulting bank chiefs, and organized private sector opposes fresh interest hike rate. These are the major stories I think that we can take on the Punch because of time this morning.
All right, now let's go to the next paper. The next paper is the First News. Okay, let's do the Daily Independent is pretty light. But okay, let's see. Aviation fuel at 1,550 naira to a litre. Holds back sector, pushes fares sky high. Hardship. NLC President advises Tinubu on how to avert proposed protest. Federal government brokers peace as Lokbobiri meets Dangote, NMDPRA, NUPRC, and an NNPCL. That's all on the Daily Independent. Do we go to another paper before we get into the conversations?
I think quickly on The Guardian this morning, over 30,000 jobs lost to closure of manufacturing firms in 4 years. We have the same ad on the Daily Independent as we have on The Guardian, which is a thank you from government Owezide Ezemopulo, aka Tompolo, as he thanks Mr. President for the appointment of Didi Esther Watson Jack as the new head of the Civil Service of the Federation. It says basically, thank you for appointing our daughter and our sister into that position. Very interesting. I'm sure Mr. Amaechi would like to comment on that as well. It's on the 2 front pages, Daily Independent and The Guardian. Must be a really, really big a national story of national interest. All right, federal government and Dangote and NPC meet, explore solutions to refinery and crude crisis. Planned protests, NLC, NANS orders insist government must address hunger and hardship. GDP ranking, it's been 9 years of retrogression. Obi laments. All right, let's first of all start with the NNPC, Dangote, and of course all the controversies surrounding them, and the NMDPRA. I beg your pardon.
Well, it is good that they are talking at last, because it wouldn't be in the country's interest if the Dangote refinery, no matter what anybody says about Dangote and his business, it wouldn't be in Nigeria's interest if that refinery goes down. Look, all the excuses, all the reasons that the government is giving, and don't forget, this is very important. The Minister of Petroleum is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes.
So, if there is any issue, if the NNPC or any subsidiary of the NNPC issues a statement, it is the presidency or it is the federal government that is doing this. So, the crisis that we've seen all these months is a problem between the federal government and an entrepreneur in the person of Aliko Dangote. What are the issues involved? The federal government is accusing Aliko Dangote of aspiring to be a monopoly. Maybe. But the truth of the matter is that, look, NNPC has 4 refineries that it has spent trillions of naira over the years, claiming that it is turning around. None of them is working. So if Dangote is actually going to be a monopoly in the petroleum industry, you blame the government. They should revamp their 4 refineries Right now, NNPC is also a monopoly because NNPC is the sole importer
Yes.
of
Crude.
petrol in the country. So it is this, like I said earlier, it does Nigeria no good whatsoever. Because when the biggest Nigerian investor, like Dangote, is crying, is saying that his friends are telling him, we told you not to invest in Nigeria. How then do you attract foreign investors that you claim you are junketing all over the world, trying to bring in? If you are indigenous entrepreneurs are bailing out and saying, this is not an economy, this is not a system we can invest in. How do you convince any other person out there to come in? So the point I'm trying to make is that it is in Nigeria's interest that this whole brouhaha, that if you ask me, I will tell you is needless.
Right.
Don't forget also, because, you know, I keep on going to APC as a political party that has been in power since 2015. Because what these guys are trying to do is to distance themselves from what Buhari did in 8 years. Don't forget, last year, Buhari as president came with all the whole fanfare to Lagos to open a Dangote refinery.
Yes.
To commission a Dangote refinery.
Yes.
Now, the same government, APC government, because don't forget also that Tinubu said he was going to continue from where Buhari stopped. This same APC government is telling us now that the Dangote refinery is only about 45% completed. So what did Buhari commission? The deceit, the lies that these guys have brought on board in the last 9 years is insufferable.
We're also saying that Nigerians have called for the resignation of the CEO of NMDPRA, Farouk Ahmed, because he had said that Dangote's product was substandard in comparison to product that has been imported. Do you think that that's a valid call?
It goes beyond what the DG of
CEO of NMDPRA.
The CEO, it goes beyond him. Like I said, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the Minister of Petroleum. There is nothing that CEO came out to say that did not have the backing of an NPC and did not have the backing of the entire petroleum industry, supervised by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, for all I care, sacking him is making him a fall guy. It's not the issue. He couldn't have said what he said all on his own. It's not possible. If you know the way government works, particularly a government like the one we have now, that guy could not have said what he said without the backing of the government of the day. So calling for his sack is the usual things we do in this country. We always look for a fall guy when something has gone terribly wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't fall for it.
All right. On the Punch, it says fuel crisis. Marketers project 700 billion naira monthly subsidy. Of course, it's boldly written there, even when President Bola Tinubu announced a subsidy is gone. NNPC mom as dealers insists government is still paying subsidy. Do you expect that we would have a House of, Reps investigation, or into whether Nigeria is still paying subsidy or not, or are we just going to keep acting like we don't know what's going on?
But before then, let's take this call. Let's hear from Kolawole, who's calling. Hello, Kolawole. Good morning. Thanks for calling. Please go ahead with your comment.
Good morning. God bless your station. They are talking of monopoly. What is NNPC doing? NNPC, is it not NNPC doing monopoly? Only NNPC. How many people the government gave license to do refinery? Only Dangote did refinery. He has commissioned it. He has brought diesel from 1,600 to 900. That is why they are jittery. They know that when they allow him to put PMS into the system, the price will crash. These people are killing Nigeria. They should know. They should allow the man to operate. Man that has opened a place of 50,000 employees. 50,000 employees with about 250,000 households at that area. Official quota for them. These people, Kyari should go, Farouk should go. They have overstayed in that NFPC. They have overstayed. Mele Kyari should go. Farouk should go. All those status should be removed from NFPC and let Nigeria live and give people welfare that they deserve in this country.
All right.
Thanks, Dr. Lawale.
Thanks for calling.
Amaechi.
Yeah, well, what did you ask again?
Petrol subsidy. Marketers project 700 billion. Naira.
It is obvious that the government is paying subsidy. You were asking if the National Assembly should probe, but they know. They know. And why do I say so? Of course, everybody has said that this issue of petrol subsidy has come back. Because when you remove the subsidy, floated the Naira, and we now have a situation where $1 exchanges for about 1,500 Naira.
Yeah.
Also, ask yourself, what is the landing cost of the petrol destined in Nigeria? It is not anything below 1,000 Naira. So if you are selling at
750 currently.
750, it then means that somebody is taking off the differential between the 750 you are charging and the landing cost. Government is paying subsidy, but you know, the deceit continues to go on, and as long as the Naira remains as it is, as long as you don't have the capacity to refine your crude internally, there's no way you can remove the full subsidy. So government is even perhaps paying more in terms of subsidy today than when President Bola Tinubu made his famous or infamous, depending on which side of the divide you are, subsidy is gone statement on May 29, 2023. So I believe Punch. I don't think it takes rocket science for anybody to know that given the devaluation that we've had in the value of the Naira, given where Naira is today, there is no way 750 Naira will be the worth, the actual worth of the petrol that we buy. It is much more higher than that. And somebody is taking off the differentials, and that can only be the government.
Yeah.
All right. I still want us to look at the Daily Independent. And just before then, to mention to our viewers that we have a few more minutes and we can take maybe one more call before we wrap it up. Hardship. NLC President advises Tinubu on how to avert proposed protest. That made me chuckle. Does the NLC currently have the influence to advise the president on how to avert a protest? Does the NLC have the popularity and the support of the Nigerian young people who want to go on this protest?
I don't think they do. But again, that is even beside the point. Whatever NLC decides to do, to advise or not to advise, President Bola Tinubu knows what the issues are. He knows why the people are protesting. And, you know, it's sad where we have found ourselves in this country. When the president's SA, Bayo Onanoga, issued the statement he did the other day, that is the saddest thing that has happened for me, as a person, that this government is going on and on, trying to incite the people against people who have nothing to do. Look, what is uniting Nigerians today is hunger.
All right, hold on. Let's quickly get Shitu from Oyo. Good morning, Shitu.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well. Go ahead quickly.
Yes. I'm calling from Oyo State.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Good morning, how are you?
We can hear you. Please go ahead. Thanks for calling.
Yes. About the issue of NNPCL and Dangote. You can hear me? Are you hearing me now?
All right, seems we might have to call us back. Yeah.
See, that statement by Bayo Onanuga is the most unfortunate thing. I didn't know that this government can descend so low as to do what they did. I said earlier that the thing that is uniting Nigerians is the poverty that is affecting everybody. And poverty has no ethnicity. It has no religion. Poverty is poverty. The man in Kano who is poor, the man in Sokoto who is hungry, the man in Imo who is poor. It has nothing to do with your ethnicity. It has nothing to do with this. So for government, and another sad thing is that, look, these are people who made an industry. In fact, Tinubu's career, what propelled him to where he is today, is his ability to protest, organize protests in this country. That these people now in power have turned around on January 11th, 2012, when Jonathan removed fuel subsidy. On January 1st, 2012, Bola Tinubu wrote a very powerful article published in The Nation, his newspaper.
Yeah.
I don't forget. The title of that article is Removal of Oil Subsidy. President Jonathan breaks social contract with the people. If you crave my indulgence, I will read the first paragraph of that. It says, as Nigerians gathered with family and friends to celebrate the new year, the federal government was baking a national cake wrapped in the scheme that would instantly make the new year a bitter one. Barely had the public weaned itself from last year when government dropped a historic surprise on an unsuspecting nation. PPRA issued a statement. Tinubu went on and on and on and on. And the crux of the matter is that he said why he is not advocating for violence, that the people have the inalienable right to protest. It is a right not given by the government. The people have the right to protest bad governance. So for you to turn around now to say protest against bad governance is treason, I think that is the height of how they have taken Nigerians, the disregard they have for Nigerians.
All right, let's quickly take this call from Benue. We have Tony Eze. Good morning. Thanks for calling, Mr. Tony Eze. Please go ahead with your comment.
Thank you so much. I want to comment back on the protest that is about to come. For some of us that are on the streets, I'm appealing to government. Please and please, if we still love his people, our leaders, if we still love his people, we should urgently summon a meeting. Not like NSA zone when things is being gotten bad before they start summoning meeting. We should summon meeting because as Nigeria is now, we don't need protest for now. We don't need protest for now. So many Nigerians they are angry. So many. And if Ahmed Bola Tinubu, our president, still love Nigerians,
as his own people. The only thing he will do for us, because some of us, I cannot go on the street and protest the age I am now. But the youth are vibrant, they are ready to go to the street. If he still love us and love our children, let him summon meeting and start addressing the issue one by one now. Please and please. Good morning.
So, I will advise President Tinubu to go back and read that his own letter, the letter he wrote on 11th January 2012, to go back and read it and situate where we are today. If what we are going through today does not deserve the people saying no, enough is enough.
So you're saying that the protests, whilst you acknowledge that the protests are a right of the Nigerian people, do you endorse that the young people should go on the protest? Our last caller, Tony Eze, says that he should not be like William Ruto that tried to put out the fire while the fire had already started, but basically now have conversations, have meetings, do whatever.
What kind of meetings even?
I don't know, to prevent the protest from happening. So,
meetings with who? Meetings with who? Bayo Nanogas said that P2B and obedience and the IPOP, whatever, should be held responsible. How? Who are the leaders of this protest group? And P2B is not the leader of obedience. Obedience movement is an amorphous group of young, disgruntled, angry Nigerians who are angry with what is going on in their own country. If you ask me, I will tell you that they are the most patriotic Nigerians ever. What the government should do, it is not the fact of the protest itself that people should be preaching against. It is to appeal to government not to do what they did in 2020, where NSAS protest, organized by enlightened youths, young Nigerians, government infiltrated it and sabotaged it. We all saw on live television, government dropping in jeeps, thugs who brought violence into that protest. And don't forget that it was the government that ordered soldiers to Lekki toll gate. ECOWAS court gave a judgment the other day where it eviscerated the government for the role it played in the debacle that was the NSAS protest. So scapegoating people and gaslighting a whole race does not solve the problem. Nigerians are angry. People have empty pockets. And saying, like we argued last week, you are sending two trucks of rice to Lagos or to any state where each citizen gets one mudu of rice, if at all they get up to that, cannot solve the problem.
Neither of us got rice.
No, I didn't get any rice.
I didn't get any.
So, but I think it also is, maybe the mentality that, the whole country is just one big IDP camp. And so anytime that they complain, you give them rice and everybody will be fine, But Ikechukwu, we're out of time. I always enjoy hearing you speak on these issues. Thank you very much for joining us today. Hopefully next week when you come, the stories will be bright. We'll be happier. But for today, there's still very sad stories across the newspapers.